Guys, today I'd like to talk about the case of, well, what should I call it? Because there have been so many people convicted in this murder. It's the murder of Dan Markel. He was living in Tallahassee, Florida. He was a professor at the Florida State University School of Law. He was very highly respected, a hard worker, a great father, and I imagine he was probably a great husband too. But if you listen to his ex-wife, Wendi, you might not get that, vibe. Dan and Wendi were married in 2006. They had 2 children, 2 boys. And in 2013, they divorced. Custody was already settled. They had 50-50 shared custody. There shouldn't have been any problem going on. But there was a problem going on because Wendi wanted to be able to relocate back to southern Florida, where she was from. She evidently didn't want to be stuck in Tallahassee. Well, since Dan Markel was murdered back in 2014, 1 year after their divorce, on July 19 of 2014 to be exact, since he was murdered, in fact, right after he was murdered, Wendi got what she wanted. She hightailed it to Miami with the children. Like, right away. Like, it sounds like the next day or a couple of days later. And it also sounds like she was using the last name Adelson for the children shortly after Dan Markel was murdered too. Their last name was Markel, but she very quickly started using the last name Adelson for the boys. Interesting. There are a couple of things about this case that are just really weird. Well, there are many things about this case that are very weird. But specific to the relationship between Donna Adelson and her daughter Wendi, there's something just really strange. And also with the relationship between Donna Adelson and her son Charlie Adelson, Wendi's brother. Since Dan Markel's murder, there have been 5 convictions so far, okay? The hitman who was hired to murder him, the hitman's buddy who rode along with him up to Tallahassee, the hitman's girlfriend or the mother of his children, or I don't know if they were boyfriend, girlfriend at the time or whatever, I have no idea. Her name is Katie. Katie is the person who was dating Charlie Adelson. So Katie's been convicted also, because she evidently arranged the whole thing, right? It sounds like Charlie said to Katie, hey, do you know anyone who can, take care of this problem? Meaning anyone who would murder somebody for some cash? And Katie said, sure. So the hitman's been convicted, the buddy's been convicted, Katie's been convicted, Charlie Adelson has been convicted. And just recently, Charlie's mother, Wendi's mother, Donna Adelson, has also been convicted. And now, the big question is, what about Wendi? What did she know? Was she part of the plot? Was she part of the plan? Did she know all along that her ex-husband was going to be murdered? In the true crime community, it sounds like everyone pretty much thinks that, yeah, she knew all along. And it sounds like in the true crime community anyway, that people are wondering, what about Wendi? When is she going to be arrested? Why hasn't she been arrested? Why hasn't she been arrested by now? One thing that I hear over and over again as I listen to the videos about this case or these cases, one thing I hear is that the channel creators seem to believe that as soon as Wendy's arrested, then suddenly the children will be shipped off to Canada to live with Dan Markel's parents. And I just want to say, I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not the case, because those children have been through hell already. They certainly don't need to be shipped off to another country to live with people they don't know. Granted, I think it's wrong that they don't know their paternal relatives. I think that's sad. It's terrible. It's wrong. However, they don't. So if their mother is suddenly arrested, their world is already going to be upside down. I don't think they need to have even more turmoil and upheaval and whatever to suddenly be sent off to live with strangers. And, I don't mean to sound harsh, but they are strangers to those boys. I think, of course, it would be good to have contact with them, to meet them, to get to know them. That would be wonderful. But I think the boys' needs should come first. There's simply has to be somebody in their lives who they are close to, who they know, who they trust. My vote, quite frankly, would be that they would be sent to live with Wendy's brother. She has another brother besides Charlie. That they would be sent to live with Wendy's older brother. His name is Rob. And his wife. And their children. That would be my hope. So I just wanted to put that out there, because this whole idea that the boys would suddenly be handed over to the Markels, I don't think that would be healthy. I just don't. I think that given the fact that their mother has been their sole parent for the majority of their lives, that to send them off to live with people who obviously would hold animosity just naturally, and I don't mean that they do or that they've ever expressed such a thing, but I think you get where I'm coming from. I just don't think it would be right. I think, too, the question of whether or not Wendi knew about the murder for hire plot to kill her ex-husband, well, it's confusing to me, because to me it seems obvious that she would have known. To me it seems obvious even that it was probably her idea. To me it seems obvious that she was in on it right from the start. But if that is true, then why wasn't she arrested in 2014, right after her ex-husband was murdered? Or in 2015 or 2016 or 2017? Come on, we're in 2025. Why, if there is evidence against her, wasn't she arrested long before now? Does somebody think they're doing the children a favor to put off arresting her? Because that doesn't make sense to me. If there is evidence that she was involved, then that means that they've left the children in the care and custody of somebody who they evidently at least have probable cause to believe that she committed murder. of their father, that she was involved with the murder of their own father. So it makes no sense to have the children in the care and custody of the person who they have listed as a co-conspirator in the murder. An unindicted co-conspirator, but a co-conspirator just the same. So how can anybody justify not making an arrest sooner? And in fairness to Wendi, if they're planning on arresting her, didn't they have a duty to arrest her as soon as they had any evidence against her? I mean, talk about cruel and unusual. Is she supposed to live year after year after year wondering whether or not they're going to come after her? That's not okay. If they have evidence against her that rises to the level of at least probable cause at this point, right? If they have that evidence against her, what are they waiting for? For the boys to be adults? That makes no sense. Just my opinion. Now, do I think that she had anything to do with it? Well, damn right I do. Just my opinion. I think she knew all along. I think her relationship with her mother was really weird. And I don't think that either Wendi or her mother did anything at all without the other one knowing. I don't think they were independent of each other ever. I think the two were one. I think Wendi lived her life for her mother. I think Donna lived vicariously through Wendi's life. They had just such a weird sounding relationship. Here's just one example, just to give you one example. Wendi had two children. Wendi and Dan had two children, two boys. They were preschoolers. I don't know, 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Wendi, I kid you not, Wendi would not travel alone from Tallahassee down to Miami to visit her parents. Her parents would come to Tallahassee and drive her down. Wendi was supposedly an adult with just 2 children. It's not like she had 8 children or 10 children or something. And even then, those are her kids. She couldn't take a road trip with her own kids without help? That's weird, you guys. I think, I'm sorry, I think it's just weird. And it's weird that parents would be so quick to race to Tallahassee to drive their daughter down for a visit. That's goofy. But I think it's a definite symptom of that weird relationship that they had. And the same with Charlie and his mother. It was weird. If you listen to their phone calls, they're just downright goofy. I mean, they spent hours just talking and talking and talking a lot about Wendi. You know, Donna would want Charlie to handle talking to Wendi about, you know, who to date, for Pete's sake. And even when Wendi dated Dan, before they had kids or got married or anything, I'm talking way before, it was Donna who was finding Dan on some Jewish dating website or something. It was Donna deciding who Wendi should date. Like, that's goofy. Very goofy. And goofy that Wendi would have ever wanted her mother to have been involved with deciding who she should date. Like, I don't know. The channels that are discussing this case, it's like people are shocked by what transpired. But if you think about it, if you dig in and really look at those strange family dynamics, I guess we really shouldn't be surprised at all by what happened. I think a lot of people in the true crime community like to blame Donna, the mom, for everything, but I don't. I don't at all. I think that Wendi and Charlie both had a responsibility when they became adults to become adults. And I don't think either one of them did, in a sense, ever really become adults. Donna spent all of her time and energy in her lifetime living her life for her husband and her children. She's painted out to be some sort of a demon now for doing so. But something a lot of the younger people don't realize is that's how things used to be. That's how things played out. If you look back to the years that Donna had her children, there was a war going on between women. The ones who worked outside the home and the ones who devoted their time and energy to their husbands and kids. You know, they claim that Donna was working all the time. I don't think so. I highly doubt Donna worked very many days of her life. I highly doubt it. I just do. I think she showed up at the office to make sure she could run the show, but I highly doubt she actually knew the definition of work. I think she worked hard to stay on top of every little detail of her children's lives, no matter how old they were. I think that was her identity. I think that's all she knew how to do. You know, a lot of people are laughing because they show these clips showing Donna on the Wheel of Fortune as a contestant on the Wheel of Fortune with Pat Sajak and Vanna White. Anyway, when they do that little 30-second intro, Donna said that she was a domestic coordinator. Yeah. And people laugh at that and they think, ha 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 ha. What they may not realize, because they probably weren't born yet or were too young to remember at the time, women were calling themselves domestic coordinators back then. It was popular. It was normal. Maybe it wasn't normal, but it was the norm. Another term they would use was domestic engineer. There were a lot of women calling themselves domestic engineers. And they said it loud and proud, let me tell you. They liked having a job title during the war between the women. So I don't think that Donna spearheaded anything. I don't think that Donna was some sort of evil being who masterminded the whole thing. I actually, just my opinion, I think it was Wendi. And I think Charlie was enough of a doofus to help make it happen. And I think Donna, well, I don't think Donna thought at all. I think she simply always wanted whatever she thought would make her baby Wendi happy. Just my opinion. So to answer the question, what about Wendi? I think if they have any evidence to show that she was part of the plot to kill her ex-husband, I think they should just go ahead and arrest her and get it over with. Because quite frankly, I think it's unfair to her children if they have evidence against her. And I mean real evidence. I don't mean all this circumstantial crap. I mean, if they have actual evidence to show, and I'm not saying circumstantial evidence is an actual evidence. I know. I don't mean to go down that rabbit hole with you. But if they have direct physical evidence to show that Wendi was involved, then I think it's fair to her children to make the arrest. Just my opinion. Have a great day.